Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the Winter Season Showdowns. We're currently watching a best of 5 between MC and Alive. Before we get into game number 2, quick plug, of course, Full Sail University. You saw that brilliant bumper just before. If you want to get involved with all of that, you have the opportunity to. fullsail.edu/MLG is your source. Take a visit to that website, see if you like what you're looking at, and then, of course, drop down some information. They'll send some information right back at you, and you can start off your pursuit into the gaming industry. Of course, Full Sail is the official education partner of MLG. Great opportunities there as far as graphic design, game design, audio engineering, so on and so forth. And of course, every graphic you see on the screen has actually been made by a Full Sail graduate here at MLG, and we have some interns here as well. So, looking to get involved with MLG, Full Sail, go for it. So, definitely check that out. But that being said, we're in the middle of a best of 5, MC versus Alive.
Alive is up 1-0, but Boss Toss, no stranger to best of 5s, man. He's, you know, I have to say, well, why don't we just start the game?
Let's do it.
But after starting this game, I have to say, I feel like MC is one of the most, in fact, he might be, I'll say this, he's the most experienced world-class tournament player there is.
I agree.
I think he's been to more tournaments than any other player in the most number of countries.
Are you just saying Korea? Or in the world?
I would say in the world. He's been to, like, the vast majority of events outside Korea. He's been to every, like, event in Korea. He's been to so many events.
I'd be interested to see, like, the stats on that, actually.
Of just tournament appearances.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. He's been to a bunch. But, like, just for fun, I'm trying to think of who else might be up there. Like, I'm thinking White Raw, perhaps.
MMA or...
Grubby.
There's so many events in Korea.
Like Tasia, Hero, Idra. Yeah.
MC's very,
yeah, of course,
experienced.
Very experienced, very seasoned. He knows what he's doing. But he's currently down 1-0 in this very important match. Of course, the winner of this best of 5 gets an all-expenses-paid trip to the Winter Championship event in Dallas, Texas on March 15th. This is game number 2 on Entombed Valley. In the top left-hand location, we have the Red Terran player currently up 1-0, showing very convincing play in game number 1. He is Alive. His opponent in the bottom right-hand location, the Blue Protoss player who opened double gas in the last game into expansion into some Oracle play, but ultimately could not handle the Doom drop that made its way into his main base. From Team SK, he is MC.
You know, I feel MC played that game very, very well from the position he was in at the 5-minute mark.
Sure.
But, I mean, if it, like, Alive's orbital was almost done by the time he started his Nexus. And all that was to get out that super fast, you know, Mothership core out, which did absolutely nothing.
Yep.
And it was even worse than in the Wings of Liberty build, where you, let's say, you rush out, like, 2-gate Stalkers, because not only did he delay the Nexus, but he also cut a couple probes.
He also made some... He got those 2 gases early to try to get that gas fast.
Exactly. So there were so many things slowing him down there, and it just wasn't able to get the damage done. So Alive didn't make any mistakes.
Right.
MC, you know, if MC could have survived to get Psystorm up, that can be a game changer. But Alive, you know, he knew how to be just aggressive enough, not suicidal aggression charging into photon overcharges, but knew how to use his advantage to leverage it to get in a position where MC had to spread his defenses thin, took advantage with a beautiful drop, and just a masterful play.
Jeez.
Now he's mixing it up.
He's got more guys mining gas than minerals, almost, not quite. Double gas, we got a factory. Alive completely changing his play from the last game.
So is MC.
Oh, yeah.
They're switching.
Oh, my gosh, they are. That's pretty... Okay, this is going to be interesting. This is why I love StarCraft 2. So much changes can happen in the middle of a series. Of course, one last note on last game, if we're thinking about, okay, MC's build, what is it good against? How could have it worked? Because obviously MC is very good at this game. He knows what he's doing. If Alive hadn't made a bunker, that could have been very, very strong. If his opponent hadn't dropped down those 2 additional barracks to really increase that Marine production, it could have been strong theoretically if only 4 Marines were in the bunker and he was taking a factory or something. He could have gone to the middle line with the militia core, got some damage done. But you know, very good game from Alive there, able to really cement his defenses. But talking about this game, yes, we got a fast expansion here from MC, a fast starport.
This is going to be a Cloak Banshee rush.
Oh my gosh.
It's going to be a Cloak Banshee rush, and you know what's neat? So there's a lot of people playing Heart of Swarm, and you're thinking, Okay, I know Terrence hasn't expanded quite. Actually, doesn't even know that because he could just have gone guess his expansion with the Wolof. But MC suspects that Live's not expanding, right? So he's thinking, okay, Widowmine drop, Hellbat drop, Hellbat's running my base. You know, like there's all these Heartless Swarm, Turley, Aaron early game Terrence stuff you can do.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you might overlook the fact that Cloak Banshee is still a darn good opening.
It's pretty good.
I mean, he's got to get these gateways out to be ready to defend against Hellbat. I anticipate yeah, there we go. There's the Robo. So yeah, I think he'll still be okay. It's going to really depend on, I mean, he'll have the Observer out shortly after the Cloak finishes. There'll be just a small window where there's Cloak, but I mean, he has so many probes he can afford to lose some. The question is, while the Cloak Banshee is distracting him, can the Widow Mines get in there and do any damage? Because that's, of course, the a supplementary unit that Live is adding in.
You know, as you said, he could potentially start harassing the mineral line with the Banshee, and while MC's worrying about that, scuttle a Widow Mine forward, maybe just outside the ramp, maybe to the mineral line of the natural expansion, and then get damage in that way. You know what could happen? He could attack a mineral line, and the probes will transfer. And then while the probes are transferring, put that Widow Mine in a position where it would hit the transferring probe.
Right as they go down the ramp, perhaps. There could even be something fancy where he uses the Widow Mine to snipe the Observer with a scan.
Oh, yeah. Well, absolutely. Yeah.
There's all sorts of craziness. You can do double expanding behind us. I love it. When you put on a harass, you're going to contain your opponents, so macro upgrading behind it. The kills are starting to come out. The Observer is on the way, but his Banshee's going to rack up a good number of kills before the Observer can come out.
Interesting. The Widow Mine going straight to the third base, and this Banshee getting a lot of probe kills. Sentries are the only form of defense. Observer going to spot it. There's the... excuse me.
The Photon overcharge
on the
knocking out that, and that was pretty cool because Alive was figuring all the units are to natural, so we could definitely get that Banshee into the main when Observer comes. Didn't anticipate that Photon overcharge. 13 range, devastating damage, knocks that first Banshee out. There is a second Banshee coming in, but I think that MC's got good defense. He's got Observer in his natural. He's got another one, or in his main, excuse me. He's got one producing, now defend his natural. So Alive's harass is ended. And at the end of the day, he didn't actually kill enough probes to get ahead economically speaking. I think 6, with the way MC opened, I mean, Alive lost about 10 SCVs of construction time.
Once these mules kick in, though.
That is true. That is true. But, I mean, he could have... he could have had more CVs, but he wouldn't have had to contain. Like, yes, he didn't kill that many probes.
Yep.
But because of the containing threat of the harass, he can be greedy behind us with that very fast third CC. How's he going to follow this up? He's continuing to make Widow Mines, which I love because they're awesome units.
Yep.
Adding more barracks, so he is going to go bio. No E-Bays yet. In fact, no third or fourth gas yet as well. So, just as I say, a double E-Bays going on. I love it. You've got to get ahead in upgrades because as soon as you get that fast third CC, and you don't really, you don't have that much production, you know you're not going to hit a timing. So instead of hitting timing, you play greedy, using the Marines and the Raven, take map control, snipe observers. Such beautiful play. There's really, I mean, MC's moving out the small force, and I feel like this little Stalker trio might be in for a surprise. He's trying to clear mines, but...
There's a Raven there, too. Point of defense drone is going to be applicable.
Observer's going to go down. There's no way he can save that Observer. Yeah. It's too slow. I mean, the Stalkers can kite. He can try to, hope that the Raven doesn't run away. Oh!
Raven!
Oh, what is...
Oh!
Man.
Green decided to go somewhere else.
I was like... Alive's Raven was like...
5 HP.
It's like, come here, Stalkers!
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you!
With,
And then, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I don't have any attacks. What am I doing charging his far ahead? Gets out of there burying time. That was close.
Alright, so... I like... this is really interesting because... we have a Cloak Banshee coming in here. Uh-oh, it's gonna get taken down by... Wow. That is effective.
Yes.
Photon Overcharge.
Photon Overcharge says Banshees.
I wanted to note that I kind of like the Widow Mine stuff at the additional expansion, treating them like burrowed Zerglings, but Stalker's going to try to be aggressive here. Point defense drone going down. God, that Raven's so
I really want him to repair that.
I do too.
Raven has so much utility throughout the game, not only in the point defense drones and the fact that normally what Terrans do, right, is anytime you see an observer, you scan, you kill with Marines, right? But if you have the Raven, you don't have to scan. You just kill with Marines, and you can save so much money throughout the game by doing that. Not to mention, Seeker Missile is not only 75 energy, it has range 10, so you can cast it from a long distance away. MC's doing a good job, though, clearing out these mines. Very, very... Oh, he's... You know what? what we've been talking about the lives doing, MC's been building up a massive immortal Stalker Observer Force. He knows that behind the Cloak Banshee mind play, Alive has got to be short on units.
Yep.
And if Alive's short on units, MC
Alive's moving out a little bit here. Got to be careful.
MC with almost like a 20 food advantage. As a Protoss player against Terran, that's so rare.
Don't want to engage in the middle of the map here. Going to back away. Only has one bunker here. Has a Raven there, though. There's a point defense jump.
I mean, he's got to move up to third, and he's planning to. We can see that. MC, I think, doesn't want to get stuck in the third. He may be afraid if he goes up there, he'll be in a bad position. He really wants to kill a natural because forcing a third to lift is not enough damage. He hasn't even started his own third. It's not enough. He's got to do something more. Or he could just play it out for a late game and go to Storm. I think that could work too because as long as Alive holds a good concave, he should be okay here. His production is getting insane. His 1-1 is moments from completion. I feel like MC wanted to do more, but I feel he can't.
Yeah, I mean, Alive with a great reaction there, not trying to defend that third, realizing, okay.
That PDD is still around.
Yep.
Those things last forever.
They do. Well, yeah.
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
3 minutes without durable materials. You had durable materials, and you might as well stay the whole game.
Yeah.
Of course, that's an upgrade rarely used. And look at his tech.
Engineering bay.
He's already getting ghosts. His armory's a little bit late, but that's okay because he was really worried about that timing attack there. I feel
he's going to be attacking the middle of the map here.
I really like Alive's position.
I do too. The Widow Mine was finally cleared out there at the third base of MC. And he's going to know his opponent didn't take a third. And his 3 bases are kicking in, honestly, right now. So he's going to start really getting up there as far as production is concerned. But MC getting those High Templars on the field moments away from Storm finishing. And there's a narrow timing where Alive can hit before Storm finishes, but he might just have to back away. He needs those ghosts.
Yeah, I feel he's going to wait for the ghosts. I mean, even though there's no Storm, oh, nice Widow Mine hit there. There's so many Zealots. And if you look at Alive's army, like, his food is the same as MC's, but you have to remember, look at the number of barracks he has. Like, 20 of that food is basically units in production that aren't with his army. And so if you look at his actual army, it's very small compared to MC's out in the open field. The Zealot count's insane. I think Alive's got to wait to really to utilize that insane production, right? He set it up, give it a few cycles to kick in, then once it kicks in, try to hit a timing or at least maybe play to IMC's 4th, try to catch up in upgrades because he still hasn't started his 2-2. There we go, just now starting that. It's really going to come down to EMPs versus Storms. MC's getting some good defense though, Photon Cannons behind his natural, very, very smart play there. I mean, it's funny because as a Protoss gets bigger and bigger, on the one end you're like, you know what, I have so many warp gates, I can warp units in so I don't have to worry about drops. But on the other hand, what if they drop and the warp gates are on cooldown? What if they drop and you don't have enough food limit left to warp in enough guys? You've got, I mean, the Photon Cannons are a good bet. They're no food, great range, a really great anti-drop utility there.
Alive is going to have a lot of utility as far as that harassment is concerned. Still has Cloak Banshee's obviously available to use if he wants.
Oh, the Raven!
Oh, no, the Raven going to get sniped. Point defense shows great reaction time there from Alive. Going to save the Raven, but he's going to be out of energy, so not going to have much use. Oh, great storm there from MC. Lots of Marines going to be soaking those up, but the Raven, 20 HP, 10 health, or 10 energy, excuse me.
It's like, you know what, guys? You go ahead. I'll just hold position by the point defense shows.
Yeah.
This is my happy place.
He's not going to have much utility in the battle. In fact, none, unless he, of course, to detect observers.
Oh,
there's a lot of storms that reach I don't know if that was worth it, losing 2
yeah,
High Templars there.
Oh!
EMP is hitting the High Templar. MC going to engage anyway, and Alive is just going to kite away with this Marines and Marauders. Ghost going to continue blanketing those EMPs, but there's a nice storm from MC trying to shove this away. Alive has that supply advantage, 159 to 144. Photon overcharge on the Nexus, trying to do that damage to that Bio Force. But I think MC will eventually...
There's so many
reinforcements too.
And he has no AoE. Well,
yeah.
That great move Alive did snipe.
Oh, speaking of no AoE, MC's like, you know
early.
what? Axslav, I have 2 storms with a couple from a couple High Templars there.
Man, those 2 storms wasn't for those.
Might have saved his life.
It did save his life. Yeah, Alive would have gotten up and done some critical damage there. Alive with a great move sniping those Templar. MC though, he only had like 1 storm that battle, but that storm hit home, and then the 2 ones followed up. They hit home as well. The other thing that was very important there is MC was 2-2. Alive almost hit the perfect anti-timing before his 2-2 finished, right after MC's did. But I think he felt he had a good chance of EMPs there. So, interesting. He had great EMPs. He did lose all his ghosts, though. He got the Templar, but he didn't kite his Ghost away, so those all fell. And those are expensive units, so I almost...
6 Ghosts on the field right now.
Yes, he's got some new ones.
Also, he lost the Raven.
Very, very tight game here.
Lots of scans.
Oh, he's going to get the Concave. He's going up in the third.
Wow, and how is MC going to deal with this?
If he goes through, he'll be bottlenecked, and EMPs will just ravage him.
Colossus coming out in the field alive, caught off guard. No Vikings in this composition. Can he deal with it anyway? Ghosts are vulnerable. They don't have range to the Colossus, so we'll keep an eye on that. It's almost done. 3-3 on the way here from MC as well, but I feel like the Colossus getting out there, that's going to give MC enough of a timing cushion where range will finish. He can get 2 more Colossi on the field. He can even set up his 4th base. I think with those Colossi, he has momentum at this point in time, but Alive immediately adding on a 2nd starport, churning out those Vikings, and oh, here's a nice little counterattack.
I love it. Alive with that smartly placed bunker behind the middle line to defend against harass. MC saying, you know what, I can still take out your reactors. The point you mentioned about that timing MC has is so apt. I mean, right when he gets 3-3,
yep,
he'll be done. He'll have the upgrade advantage. Alive is still trying to catch up to deal with the Colossi count, which is increasing rapidly. I don't know if it's strong enough to cross the map, though, because unlike Warp Gate units, Colossi take a while to cross the map. And by the time he crosses the map, you know, there can be Cloak with Observer sniping, and the Viking count will be higher because it's right where the starports are rallying. But it is definitely enough of an advantage that MC can take his 4th base and play to the late game.
These guys are approaching maxed. I wouldn't be surprised to see perhaps additional Ghost Academies, perhaps additional production facilities from both of these players in the form of additional starports, barracks, and of course gateways. 3-3 is just now finishing for MC. He has his High Templar, he has his Colossi. This is a pretty good position, but again, if he wants to be the aggressor, it's very difficult against Terran on this map. They could set up the concaves for themselves, spread themselves out really far, kite away with the Marines and Marauders while taking down Colossi with Vikings. Micro is going to be everything as these engagements start happening. There's an additional command center from Alive. He has that planetary fortress at his 4th base. So, pretty tense moment here. We'll have to see who decides to take the first move.
It's very neck and neck. We can see, you know, both players are preparing Alive, making sensor towers, plenty of missile turrets to make sure observers can't get in, war prisoners can't get in, etc. MC, on the other hand, getting observer speed, knowing Cloak Ghosts are a very dangerous threat in the late game, also getting plenty of cannons at his 4th. This is the point of the game where, as a Protoss player, ooh, a couple of nice snipes there. Look at that Assassin Ghost.
Yep.
Sneaking around the edge.
Stalker's blinking forward trying to find him, but I don't think he knows he's invisible.
Yeah, there's no observer there. Oh, is he going to get spotted? No, it's going to sneak around the very edge of the map.
What's on his mind?
If he had a looking nuke, at his rally point.
Heck yeah.
Oh, I think he might try to come behind and snipe Templar from the back.
Okay.
Maybe.
I guess, yeah.
I
mean, when you snipe Templar, you have to go for the engagement, though.
This is like the Van Damme Ghost or something. He's going to be the one-man army.
The Frodo Baggins Ghost.
The Frodo Baggins sneaking in.
Sneaking in. He's just going to snipe probes, or he thinks he has a nuke, but unfortunately he doesn't.
Well, he's got a C10 canister rifle.
He does.
And he's not. You know what? This is actually going to be effective. He already took out a Templar.
This is annoying too. I mean,
like what? He's got to find an observer. Then warping. There's 2 zealots warping. Where's the observer? Oh. Observer speed.
3 observers on the field here.
Very, very fast with that speed.
Uh-oh, engagement might happen in the middle of the map. Colossi trying to take down the Ghost. Great storm from MC. Alive going to try to engage. Anyway, Vikings pummeling the Colossi. There's another storm. Nice one onto the Vikings. They're getting so low in health. So many Vikings are going to fall here. What an intense match we have going on. Neither player willing to go all in with that engagement, both backing away to a certain extent. More Ghosts on the field here from Alive. 2 additional Colossi in production.
Alive has 0 Ghosts in his army. They were all in the very front, all bunched up, and every single one of those got killed by the storm and the Colossi.
Is that enough of a timing for MC to try to take advantage?
It might be, but he's got to go quickly because more Ghosts are being rallied out right now. Of course, as soon as the Ghost pops, it does have an EMP, and MC's low in energy. He needs a lot of storms there.
Stalker's being forward, targeting down the Ghost. That means only 2 left for Alive. 3 down back to 2. A storm melting away. Plenty of Marines. Viking trying to target down the Colossi, but Alive with a great position, backing up to that 3rd base, and MC's army is getting lower and lower, of course. Now Alive can start splitting up his units. Vikings very vulnerable here in the middle. He needs to back those away, but now the Marines and Marauders are in pursuit. 4 medevacs kind of straggling behind, trying to catch up to the Marines and Marauders to help him out. But look at this, MC on the run.
He's on the run. There were so many Vikings, even without the Ghosts. The Bio army of Alive was so big, he was able to keep it away from the Templar, send in a hit squad to get rid of them. And then, of course, when it comes out to basic units, Terran, Marines, and Marauders, with good upgrades in Sim are always going to beat those Zealots and Stalkers in equal numbers.
All right, MC looks like he wants to be aggressive once again, wants revenge for the units that were lost moments before. 4 very high energy, high Templars are in the mix. A scan going down from Alive, looking for observers, sees one there, so might try to snipe that down with additional scans and Viking play. Also trying to get a count of Templar, trying to get a count of Colossi so he knows, all right, how many Vikings do I need to build? Because if you overmake Vikings, that could be the biggest mistake in a TVP. But for now, going to be peeling away some medevacs here. Nick, I'm going to have to ask you to keep a close eye on those in case you decide to do some picture-in-picture, of course. MC, we'll have to see if he decides to be aggressive here.
You know, one thing that's happening right here, MC's trying to find an angle to be aggressive because he can't wait. The longer the game goes on, the more favors Alive. He gets more and more ghosts. He gets more and more heals. SCVs, exactly. So the Protoss has got initiated action.
MC gonna go for it. There's the Time Morph from the Mothership Core trying to slow his opponent down. The Ghost a little bit extended far forward. Once again, gonna try to back away. Needs to EMP the Archons and the Zealots, not to mention the Storms, but all the Ghosts are falling. MC charging into his opponent's natural expansion, but look at the Concave from Alive. The High Templars trying to get up close, trying to get involved. There go the Storms onto the Vikings, onto the Bio, and MC melting away Alive at this point. The Storms are too much, turning the High Templar into Archons. 2 Colossi, plenty of Stalkers and a Moral and an Archon here. Plenty of Medevacs overhead doing nothing. And there's the GG from Alive. What an amazing game there. MC just, I feel like his play against the Ghost was like the biggest part of that battle. And maybe on the reverse side, maybe Alive's perhaps miscontrol of the Ghost. So many Ghosts died in that game.
That was really the story of the game, like you said, the Ghost. I mean, MC also, he kept the tempo on, which a Protoss has to do. In the late game, you cannot let a Terran sit because if they build up that mass Ghost Death Ball, you will lose. So MC kept the pressure up. Every engagement, focused down those Ghosts. Every engagement, he spread his Templar. He'd have 2 Templar in the front, 2 Templar on the back right, 2 Templar in the back left. You know, what happened is Alive would group all his Ghosts, and he'd say, haha, I'm going to kill these 2 Templar in the front. And he'd trade like 6 to 8 Ghosts for 2 Templar. Yeah. And then the Colossi just kill the Ghost, and then the backup Templar come in, and Live's like, oh no, there's backup Templar. Where's my backup Ghosts?
None.
There's none. They're nowhere.
Gotta split them up. Maybe scan, take out observers with Vikings, but MC did a great job prioritizing those, getting the observer speed, making sure he kept them a little bit further back. MC, just a great game from him. And honestly, that was Heart of the Swarm. That felt very Wings of Liberty-ish. I mean, in the last battle, we saw a couple Time Warps, but those 2 guys staying with the Wings Liberty strats there.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple mines early, but...
yeah, those that mine play was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. I think that was very effective from Alive, and he played that well. He got himself in a great position. But MC, man, he just imposes his will. He's like, you can have a Tuner Food army with Ghosts, but I'm going to stand in the middle of the map, and as soon as you misposition your guys on the slightest, I'm going to just take my army as a hammer and just smash it in your face until you crumble.
Great play.
Beautiful game.
MC. Of course, MC going to even up the series 1-1 in this best of 5. Guys, tell your friends this is happening. We have an amazing series on our hands. We want everyone to be able to catch it live. Get on Team Liquid, get on Reddit, talk about this game, and get people in here. I'm axeltoss. He's axslav. Game 3 coming up.